Hey guys, you're here for Savathuns' song Tips, Tricks, and Cheeses. In this original strike, you can start out with full heavy if you rally a public event flag before starting the strike. But you can start out with full heavy and super if you launch the strike when a rally flag is available. It takes about 30 seconds of your time to backtrack, rally, and then start your strike. There are mostly arc shields, but also some solar and void. Use your sparrow. You can immediately scan the wall to save time, even with all the enemies. Use the quick scan technique to scan and get out of there quickly. After holding to interact, double tap the ghost button. This pulls out and puts away your ghost, saving you a second of wait time animation. If you have a long range weapon like a scout rifle, rockets, or mountaintop, a good place to be is up this tree. This tree will protect you from all enemies. Even cursed thrall won't kill you. If you get the fallen version of the strike, the vandals can snipe you, but that version of the strike is very uncommon. There are multiple times where there are two anti-barrier knights by each other. Use supers to help take out the first one. Another good trick is anarchy. You can solo stun anti-barrier shields by hitting them with a couple anarchy shots, then run away. Switch to and zoom in your anti-barrier weapon. Since that perk is active on your gun, all of your anarchy damage will count as anti-barrier rounds, breaking their shield pretty quickly. The drop rate for anarchy will be doubled in the next patch if you don't have it. Anarchy shots disappear when you die, so for this to work you cannot die, which is why I recommend running away after you hit them. When the door opens you can use grenades on the thrall. After you open the last door, you want to go pretty far back. The unstoppable ogre has a range about the size of Chaos Reach. If you stay out of that range, then you can slowly kill him with no problem. Stagger him periodically with unstoppable rounds so that he takes more damage. You can lure him into the main room, so keep your distance and shoot from afar so that doesn't happen. Stay right outside of his ogre blast range. After he's down, you can push up a little. The anti-barrier knights are very powerful as a team, so try to focus one side and kill him quickly with supers, heavies, and snipers. Anarchy can help you get that shield break, but you have to run away pretty much right after you stick him. A tether works really well here on the 750 ordeal as soon as the last door opens. In the next area, it works best if you kill the anti-barrier knight before dunking the relic, because the Shrieker and knight can usually kill you before you dunk. After all the enemies are dead though, the Shrieker doesn't really target people. When you drop down, you can use a quick scan on the middle pillar. The strike can go two directions at that point, the big door or the little door. If you look through the big door, you can see if there are purple crystals in there. If there are, then that's the area that will open up. If there are not any void crystals, then you should stand by the small door. After you destroy the crystals, there will be an ogre. If you stay back, he can't kill you, allowing an easy kill. If you're at the front part of the room, acolytes can still throw grenades inside, so don't bunch up together. When you go out the door, a large group of enemies will be on the right, a good place to use supers. There will also be a lot of acolytes that come in on the left, and later some sword knights will come charging in. After you damage the ogre, he will retreat some. You can actually jump over the wall. You will want at least 5 mobility on Hunter. Jump from a platform to the wall, and then jump on top. The main damage you have to worry about is acolyte grenades. The ogre will likely be under you. Splitting up can help prevent a team wipe and keep damage on dodgy wizards, but watch out for the modifiers. With togetherness, you need to be next to an ally for fast health regeneration. If you went through the middle crystal room door, you have to dunk a void orb protected by shriekers. You can grab the orb and jump over the wall from the other side. Use invisibility to get the dunk. If you wipe, it will despawn all of the enemies, but if you despawn the champions, you could lose out on platinum rewards. In the next area, use supers to quickly take out one of the barrier knights, then focus on the others. The void orb has a special ability. When you melee an enemy, it acts like a smoke bomb. They become unable to attack for a little while they are blinded. This does not work on champions though, so it's probably best to drop it and let it despawn when you're killing enemies. There are also solar and arc orbs in the game that have special effects. Solar applies a hammer strike debuff, arc orbs do damage over time. When you activate your warlock glide after meleeing with the relic in midair, you get a burst of momentum, creating a skating effect. For hunters and titans, you can single jump and swing for added momentum. This can help you dunk orbs quickly. You can also use invis, then pick up the relic and dunk it. Relic melee kills count as ability kills. The Forge batteries count as solar melee ability kills. This can give you unlimited solar grenades and unlimited overshields on warlocks with sun bracers. With Void Orbs, you can combine it with Bloom on Top Tree Nova Bomb. The Corrupted Strike and Savathuns Song both have Void Relics. Killing an enemy with a Void Relic with this subclass will cause those enemies to explode, chaining damage to nearby enemies. It's a fun little trick for orbs. You can also use orbs with Apotheosis Veil for unlimited grenades, melee, and rift, making warlocks and orbs a cheese factory. Next to the orb pillar, there's a window in the ground. Sometimes you can draw the aggro of the Shriekers and enemies from behind the glass when your friends are down there. This isn't usually necessary though. You can also climb the tree nearby to get on top of the wall, giving you a bird's eye view to kill enemies. When you go in the doorway, there's a knight, some acolytes, and 2 ogres. You can lure the ogres up the stairs. Just make sure you have someone at the doorway to escape if the guy with unstoppable rounds dies. This is a good way to clear out those ogres. And in the final room, there's another ogre that you can lure up the stairs and do the same thing. After killing all the enemies, it should be easier to dunk the relic. To get points from the cursed thrall, you must do damage to them before they explode. I usually run past them. As long as you aren't stopped, you shouldn't die from running this path. I usually ignore the wizard. He takes way too much time. But if you don't kill him, he can make his way into the boss fight unless you wipe. If you're uncomfortable in the boss area, there are 2 cheese spots you can go to immediately, but it's best that you wait until later to speed up the strike. Go on top of the hill. If you shoot over this rock, all the boss's seekers cannot hit you. They hit the rock instead. Thralls will come up to attack you though. When the boss moves down, focus the right barrier knight first, then the left. Anarchy makes this easier. When the boss goes back mid, there are 2 good spots. Behind the pillar where the boss was is great for damaging. You can shoot over it without the seekers hitting you, similar to the rock before. The main problem here is the thrall. Down to the right is an edge. If you're on the edge, nothing can kill you. You can shoot the boss, but if he's targeting you, you have to back up to avoid them. When the boss is in the back of the map, his seekers can hit you easier, so you have to be as far back on the ledge as humanly possible to avoid getting hit, which is hard to judge. It's probably wise to go to a cheese spot before the boss is in the back of the map, or right after you kill the 3 ogres. For the ogres, the ledge is still a good spot to avoid dying. Keep hitting them with unstoppable rounds so they take more damage. Stay far back to avoid getting melted. Use your supers. A 3rd ogre spawns in after a while. Now for the cheese spots. Both are on the left side of the map. The first one I found a couple years ago. You jump off this ledge and then turn around and land in this railing. The rocks launch you outwards, so you have to use jumps to get back towards the cliffside. The floor will push you the direction where you are looking, and it's very slippery. Look into the corner and periodically fire your weapon and look around. It takes at least a button press and a joystick movement to prevent AFK over long periods. So I hit the finisher button, move my right joystick and fire. You want to fire ammo because sometimes the Shrieker will close if you don't. If that happens, jump upwards and shoot at the rocks to wake him up. The benefit of this spot is actually when he goes to his platform. You can sometimes get his aggro by shooting at him. This can help your teammates dunk the ball. But if he's shooting at you, look at the corner again. The Seekers can hit you if you're looking at the boss. Before going into this spot, empty out all your grenade launcher and rocket ammo. The worst thing would be to accidentally kill yourself, which happened to me when picking up my Xbox controller. This spot also works great to cheese the strike to get the exotic thorn, which is pretty hard to complete because you have to defeat extra bosses. Primitive Rebel Gaming found another cheese spot that is easier to get to than mine. At the end of the map to the left, jump off the cliff and look to the left. There will be a cubbyhole to land in. You should be safe in there. Remember to unload your ammo and not blow yourself up. This spot is good for the togetherness buff. They can still be on the other side of the wall to regen health. The reason these cheese spots are helpful is because of the boss's Axion Dart Death Blast. They are hard to kill and easy to die from. These 2 spots keep you alive from those as well. It's also been possible to instant kill the boss. You would open up with a lot of damage in the middle, and then finish him when he teleports right. You can use Well of Radiance, Tractor Cannon, Melting Point, Bubble, or whatever with Nighthawks, and even shotguns if you're standing on that white pillar that looks kind of like a stereo, so that the boss is right next to you when he teleports.
Cheese forever, Guardian!